I will speak something before Mr. Edward start. This is 2-3 minutes. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين محمد عليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم. Today we would like to start our training session regarding the online test, online exam based on our strategy of work policy of CCQ. You know that the CCQ going to be conduct a lot of courses. Maybe some of you, all his courses will be for this term and maybe for the other terms. We don't know how long will be based on our corona pandemic or situations. But in any way, still if we, inshallah, leave the corona, hopefully as soon as possible, we need this online test. But as I know from my experience that we hope as well that our faculty member, especially what I see some names here and the names that I see here in our sessions, they are professional and more professional. There is the classic, you know, our classic online test or online exams that we conduct that career test. Then go the simple things that we are usually conduct everyone, that we go to the Blackboard, create the online test with the useful limit. I talk useful because it's useful actually. Limit options in the original, on the normal simple test as we seen here in our online test. Online, 1 minute please, sorry. Here for example, as we seen that exam online test, the very normal, this is for example the test, and we create this test. I will go to the edit test itself. Here,
Mosa, are you
yes.
trying to share a screen?
1 minute, yes, I forget.
Are you trying to share a screen?
Wallahi, thank you so much that you tell me. We go to the Blackboard, but I will, and I didn't present anything missing. Just we go to the Blackboard to my course or your courses as everyone they do, and we use the very simple quiz or online test. What the policy tell as usual or faculty member told, just in that I have to write everything for the student. Tell him please, the time is, the question is, number of question. You cannot go back with the question, coming one time. There is no return that I would like to make exam again. You have one choice. Permit of time, it's very critical of time. And important here, this is very simple. I try to use very simple as a question set. You can use it as a normal question. There is like written, يعني بنسميه المقالي. And I choose how many from my, this is a small question test. I have in my pool or on my, all question is like 50 question. I choose the 20 from this 50, and the question will come for the student, for every student in different ways. I think all you know this. I use here as a question set, not with a normal, very normal. And after that, only what I would like to mention the options, only the options. One things here, this for the simple, And Mr. Edward will be, Dr. Edward, resume the important issue here. Show, no issue. Show the instructions, very urgent for the student to read. Open a new window. But here I would like to confirm about forced completion. He is open, he has to finish. It doesn't matter, finished his exam or didn't finish, it will be finished automatically. The timer on here, after 20, on, make it on, not off. And moreover, make sure that your until is exactly same, your due date, same. Don't allow student after the due date to pass. Very important, not forget this issue here, because I am as admin from the Blackboard, we give automatically for the all faculty here, this. Please don't forget this. As mentioned, remove it. Why? Because if still he can see score, be question what he answer right, what he answer not right, and he make some play. Sometimes the student told you I sharing some conflict in the internet. Why? Because he has a picture and he has get some answer is right and he know what is wrong. Then he will go in the second time to go to the exam. He know what is the right answer and what is the wrong. He tried to thinking about what is the other option, especially in true false. You give him the answer. What I prefer here, you can give him what you like, what he answer, what correct, what he submitted as you like, but not after submission. After a specific date, maybe exam is close today, there is some student going to be with my makeup exam, then I give him the answer tomorrow and I send him email. Your answer, you can see everything, reviewing your exam, for example, after tomorrow or something like this. As you like, as you like. بالمحاضرة بالتريننج لو سمحت.
All right, Mosa, may I control your screen?
دقيقة جاي دقيقة. Yes, خلاص I finished only أنا جاي.
No. I would like to control your screen. I would like to.
Yes.
I would like to control your screen. Please give me control of your screen.
You have the control. You are the. I will give you the. You can share because you have the.
No. I want to control your screen right here.
Yes, 1 minute.
I am requesting control from you.
Yes, I will see what is your requesting. 1 minute. I would like to see what is the control. You give me where is 1 minute. 1 minute. I will share, huh?
I would like to be able to control that Blackboard screen that you have.
Yes, 1 minute. But this is in the Control Shift E. Here. 1 minute.
There we go. Yes, allow. Okay, I have control now. Yes, I should be able to move up your screen. Yes, okay. All right, because I have a question, Mosa.
Yes,
Wait,
yes.
No, I want your Blackboard screen. Yes. Okay, are you sure you want to choose forced completion? Because look, sometimes in a test, a student accidentally gets kicked out.
لا انا مش لا دقيقه انا موجود بورشه كانوا عم يسالوني بس خلينا نجاوب دقيقه واحده. اي نعم يس دكتور ادوارد سوري.
If you use forced completion and a student accidentally gets kicked out, she cannot log back into the exam, especially if you set the exam to run only one time.
You are right.
One attempt. If you do forced completion, because this happens quite frequently, maybe the students lose the internet connection. But if you choose forced completion, I believe the student will not be able to log back into the exam, will have to restart the exam, and will lose all of her answers. I don't think forced completion is a good option. Set timer and also, what is it? Set timer and auto submit is enough.
This must be completed.
I would say don't check forced completion. It could lead to too many problems.
Okay.
Just set timer, that's important, yes. And the on, yes, but don't do forced completion because if a student loses connection, she will have to start the exam over and her previous answers will not be saved.
But some of the faculty members, they ask me, please, I need, if my student start the session, I need to force him that he has to finish. It doesn't matter. I'm not worried. I'm care about what happened.
Yeah, but that's fine because you're in control of the session. You've set the timer. You've set it when to display, when not to, when to display, and when to stop displaying. And you can also hide the link.
Yes.
All I'm saying is forcing completion could lead to some problems.
Okay.
Okay. Another thing is, well, hold on. Another thing is, it's good to use a password.
Yes, fine. This is amazing. Yes.
It's good
It's
to
very
use a
important.
simple password, but then you change the password after the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes to catch those students who are trying to sneak in late. Because then they are forced to ask you for the password. Because remember, when the students are taking this test, most likely they're also in their WhatsApp group. They're in their WhatsApp group sharing screenshots, sharing answers. So what I do is I have one password, and then after the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, I will change the password to catch those students who come in late. And they don't want you to know that they're coming in late, because then they're forced to ask you for the password. So that's another thing. Also, let's see how I can. There we go. Right, you set the due date. That way you could display their grade after the due date. Okay, now another thing is, all right, fine. Do one at a time, prohibit backtracking, and randomize questions. Now, when I give an exam, I like to have an essay question at the end of the exam. But something I found out is that when you randomize questions, that essay question will come up anywhere in the exam. So one workaround for this is you could have a separate exam that the students have to log into for the essay portion of the exam. Now I have a question for everybody here today. What do you think about an essay exam where the students will be typing their answer? They will be typing their answer into the text window. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But how can you, Edward, do the safer sign? Activate the safer sign for plagiarism.
Interesting. You can, if you're, see, this brings up a good point about Blackboard, because if we use Blackboard the way Blackboard's laid out, then it seems like there's no option. Because when we just set up everything as an exam question, we cannot use safe assign. There is a way to do it. You could have your exam question. It's in your essay question, your short answer question. You could have it in the exam, but you can instruct your students to give their essay response. They have to click on an assignment link. That'll be right next to the exam link. And then you'll have to coordinate the grading, because Safe Assign works only with assignments. It does not work with essay responses. Essay responses that are set up as a test question. But my concern when we give essay questions, and especially if it's an essay exam, let's say the whole exam is just an essay exam, what is to stop a student from contacting their help in Pakistan? They email the question is, the response is delivered 45 minutes later, and the students just copy and paste their answer. I don't like having students type their essay responses in the exam. I like giving them an assignment link that they will have to, and it'll be right underneath the exam link. And I have them do something similar several times throughout the semester. So when it comes time for an exam, they know exactly what to do. So what I have them do, I have them write their response by hand on paper. They will take a picture of their writing and they will upload that picture to the assignment. But I will still have to coordinate the grading. So in Grade Center, there's the exam, then there's the assignment link for their essay, but I will still have to, I still put the essay question in the exam because I still want to put the score for the essay in the exam. Now, I mean, if students want to plagiarize, there's always a way to do it, but I try to make it a little more difficult for them to do it. But plus, by having them submit a picture of their handwritten response, plus I have a bunch of other handwritten responses from them throughout the semester. If I needed to, I can go back and do a forensic check on what they've uploaded. That's more work for me, but it's there if I need it. Yes.
Sorry for cutting. If you would like to share your screen, it's okay, you can. As well, if you have some example, something your Blackboard to see for the faculty member will be more.
Okay. I'm gonna show you a midterm exam where I actually did this.
To be more informative and to give me, to be honest more and see everything.
Okay, okay, let me find my exam. Let me find my class. All right, this is one of my classes, and this is what I do. Notice here's my online midterm exam, right? And here's a demo final exam link, which I will discuss with you a little bit later. So online midterm exam, this is their folder. It's hidden from them right now, okay? And the students would go here. I have the English 1304, it's midterm A, midterm B. These are all exams set to go, yes? The students will see only one of these. Wait, let me find something that's, I'm not seeing something that should be here. Let me see what happened. I know what happened. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me show you a different class. All right, here's a class that I believe actually did have an online midterm exam. Yes, there it is. So imagine this, the students will see only one exam. This is the actual exam. And then the link underneath the exam is, right, English 1304 Spring 2021 midterm exam essay upload. Right, use this link to upload clear, legible pictures of your completed exam essay. Your essay must be written by hand with a pen. Take clear pictures of your completed essay and upload the pictures by clicking on Browse My Computer. Right, if you do not provide clear, legible pictures of your writing, you will receive 0 essay. So the students in the exam, they'll get the question, and because the questions are randomized in the exam, that essay question can come up anywhere in the exam. And I tell them to write down on their paper what they're going to respond to. That way they can do the essay portion once they're finished with all the other exam questions. And then they write their essay on paper. They take a picture, browse my computer, and they upload it. I will go to Grade Center. I'll show you my Grade Center. Let's find my midterm exam. Here's the midterm exam. Most of the students took the midterm face-to-face. Here's where some students took the online midterm exam. This was their grade for the online exam. And then I believe here, this is the midterm essay upload. It's important to keep all this together in Grade Center. Do all of you know how to organize this information in Grade Center? And here's one student's essay and the pictures of the essay. There it is. All right, there's the student's essay. Any questions about this?
Professor Edward, if I may.
Yes.
So how would you do your feedback? You read from there because
this is pretty. It's the feedback. Let's say, all right.
Mm-hmm.
There's some interesting annotation tools here, right? I can click here, click on this I guess it's a post-it note, right? Great job. Although on an exam essay, I don't give a lot of feedback. Throughout the semester, I give more comprehensive feedback this way. Then the students, right? There's a little post-it note there. The students could click on it. They can read my comment. I will leave this comment for the student because, all right, she did a great job. But in the online midterm exam, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure about this student, but I had some students that I think did not do the writing by themselves. Somebody helped them. I had a little oral portion where they read their essay, and I had students who really didn't quite understand what they were reading. But
yeah, Professor Edward, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so can you use Safe Assign with this written note?
No, not with this handwritten note. If Safe Assign is important to you, then you don't have them write by hand. You can have them. Let's go back. Let me go back. Also, what I've noticed recently is, do any of you use tabs? Like, I want to go back to a previous window, but I don't want to keep changing windows. If I keep going back, it takes too long. So what I could do, I want to go back to this online midterm exam. I can right click and I can open a new tab, and I can keep going back and forth to different windows. I found this to be very helpful. All right, so you could come down here, forget about, you'll still want to do because this is an assignment right here. Right here, this is an assignment tool. This is the test tool, okay? But to do what you're asking, you want to align an assignment upload with the exam. So forget about the handwritten portion. They will just type their essay, or they could upload a document. Which would you rather have them do? Upload a document or write in the text window, in the text box? Or does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, so then you would not instruct the students this is an assignment information. This is an assignment. You would not instruct the students to write by hand. I want them to do the right submission. Yes? They can, and then they could type it in the text box. Because what's stopping them from having their contact at QU just send them the document? Because they could do that. You browse my computer, and they can upload the document. All right. I'm not sure about this because the students, I agree to, Mosa, maybe you can answer this question. What if the students don't check this box? I agree to submit my paper. This is only the global reference database. I think even if the student doesn't click this box, I guess the submission is still submitted to a local database. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, so even if they don't check this box, it's still going to go through Safe Assign. All right. So to reiterate, those of you who really want the submission to go through Safe Assign, you're going to have to set it up so that the students can answer their essay question as an assignment. But you'll still want to put in the essay question in the exam because you'll want to put the score for that essay in the exam. And I'll show you how I did that if you need me to show you that. All right, so let's go to the assignment. I will edit the assignment now. All right, so, and here's where, right, individual submissions, right? You should set it to at least 2 submissions. Sometimes the students make a mistake. Sometimes they don't submit it correctly the first time. It's good to set it to maybe 2 or 3, right? I always put highest grade here and then check this box, check submissions for plagiarism using Safe Assign. And I also always check allow students to view Safe Assign. And then all these other little boxes to check. Make the assignment available. That's the only way you're going to be able to use Safe Assign. Does everybody understand? Now what I did, let me go to an actual midterm. Let me see which one I actually used. I used midterm E, okay? Midterm E. Okay. There it is. We will edit the test, yes. Now, whenever you are thinking about creating a test in Blackboard or a quiz or any type of homework assignment where you have, multiple choice, true, false, essay responses, I think it's a good idea to always be drawing from the pools. Never create a quiz directly as a quiz or a test directly as a test. It's a good idea for the long run to be always working from the pools, and it's not really that much more work. It saves you more work in the long run because that's what I have here. I have that this test, all the questions come from a pool. So that's why it looks like this, right? Questions 1 to 10 are one random block, 11 to 13, one random block. Notice I have 33 questions. 32 of these are regular test questions, 1 point each. And then the last item is the essay question. But notice how I give it 11.33 points. This was 11.33 points for the essay question, and here's 10 points for the oral component. I put these two together, but I am able to figure out the percentages for my exam. I believe I worked this out so that the essay and the oral component together constitute 40% of the exam. The rest of these 1-point questions constitute 60% of the exam. I want Blackboard to do all of my calculations, but this is the way I handle it. If I did not have an oral component tied to the essay question, I would simply have made the essay question here, I would have made it worth 21.33 points. And that would work out to 40% of the exam. And now I'll go back to Grade Center, right? Here's the student's score for the essay. Here's the student's score for the the whole exam. But here's the score for the essay. It doesn't get calculated into anything. I have to put that 95. I have to put it into the exam when I check the exam. For example, here, I'll show you. When the students do an online exam, if all of the questions are, multiple choice, true, false, that is something that Blackboard can check automatically. But short response, essay questions, the instructor has to check that manually. And I'll show you this student right here. I want to quickly get to the essay question. Remember, everything on Blackboard is really just a web page. So I can do Control F and I can search through this page for essay because I don't want to be scrolling through forever. There it is. Essay, 2 points. This was a short answer question. Here's the essay. The essay question is in the exam, but I'm not having the students answer in the exam. They will answer outside the exam in an assignment. But here's where I put the points for the essay. And then there should be the oral component somewhere here. Control F. I will search for the oral component, and here we go. The last part of this, here's the oral component. And yeah, this student got 60%, 6 out of 10 points for the oral. So this student had a very hard time reading the wonderful essay she wrote. So why did she have a difficult time reading the essay she wrote? Why did she have a difficult time understanding many of the words she wrote in her essay? But this was easy to manage because for the midterm, only a few students did the online exam. I will not be able to do an oral component for a full class. Any questions?
If anybody have a question.
So that is how I handle the essay portion, and I'm very pleased with it. Well, I'm as pleased as I can be. Nothing's going to be perfect in this environment. But now I would like, if nobody has any questions, I would like to discuss the idea of making pools. Always the first step is to create pools. And then from that, you could do whatever you want with it. You can use those pools for a test, an exam, a quiz, a makeup test. You have more flexibility in the long run. It's a better use of your labor. So if we don't have any questions about this, I would like to now move on to discuss the creation of pools and how to manage this. Because let's go back to, this test was generated from a random block. This is a random block from this one particular pool, a random block from this pool. Let me go to I want to show you something else, because this is what it looks like when you're creating a test from pools as opposed to just creating a direct test. Let me pull up a direct test that I have somewhere.
So how do you make the pools with the multiple choice? You type in each question or you upload from the word?
We're gonna get to that, and I'll take you step by step through that. But I just want to show you, this is the test canvas you're working with when you're drawing from pools. It's gonna look like this. Because I think a lot of instructors are not familiar with this. What they're familiar with is this. Let me show you. Now here's what a test looks like when you make a test directly. You could see all of your questions, yes? But now, I mean, this is a test that's created directly. I don't use it as a test. It's a lab assignment. It's classwork. But I have set this up as a pool. I use it as a pool, and whenever I give students even a lab assignment, I'm drawing from the pool, mainly because I have greater flexibility. I don't want students to all have the same questions. I have a total 10 questions, right? This is LB, how we live. Okay, fine. What I give to the students is, let me see where that is. I have drawn from that test, which I use as a pool, and this is what I actually deliver to the students. There were 10 total questions, but I'm giving each student 6 random questions. Because what happens is the students will be in WhatsApp, they'll be sharing their answers, and I want them to share the incorrect questions, and I want them to share the incorrect answers, so they have to do the lab assignment again. It's just more reading for them. So I figured, okay, they've made themselves read more. All right. But throughout the semester, I actually use tests. I create direct tests, but I call them pools because I like the flexibility, because that allows me to organize everything in folders inside my units. Because when we're creating pools, it's very important not to think of them as a one-off event. These are pools that have to be maintained and managed. It's much more dynamic that way. All right, so I've shown you the difference between what it looks like to set up a test that draws from pools and what it looks like to set up a test you create directly. Now let's look at setting up the, no, hold on. Setting up pools, but I need to get probably out of this class. All right, I need to open up another class. This time I'm going to open link in new window. All right, now let's discuss setting up pools from scratch, not using tests as pools, but creating official pools, because Blackboard uses these slightly differently. All right. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go to Course Tools. Course Tools, we want to go to Tests, Surveys, and Pools. We want pools here. All right, I have set up some now another thing is, and this is one thing that can be very confusing with pools, is that for a variety of reasons, if I show all, I have 6 pages of pools. This could kind of get very difficult to manage. Do all of you understand that? When you begin to have a lot of pools?
Yes, yes.
I mean, one thing you can do is it's good to look at this pool here. LB, this is a certain code for me. All right, pool, this tells Q8, it tells me I have 8 questions in the pools. It tells me this is from unit 4, and it tells me this is vocabulary. It's good when you in Blackboard, whenever you create any, most of the things you create, the tests, the pools, name something with your own coding so it's easy to find that file in the system. If you have to use adaptive release or something else, you're just going to go through a long list of everything, especially when you start using Blackboard dynamically and you're adding more and more content. It becomes kind of frustrating and difficult to organize everything and keep everything manageable. So when you create a pool, try to give it your own code. So just by looking at the name, you're able to identify what it is. That way I can do Control F and I can say, okay, fine, vocab. Let's see, vocab 3. And right, Control F, and you're just searching the web page for what you want instead of scrolling through 200 items. Does everybody understand that? Okay, let's go to, these are some demo pools that I created for today. And I think the best way to, and I use math because it's easy to put in the math questions, right? So I have a pool for division, and that's a division jumbled sentence format, subtraction jumbled sentence format, division MC multiple choice, division true false, subtraction fill in the blank, multiplication multiple choice. That way I know exactly, because now what I can do, I'll show you that in a little bit later, but I think it's good. You think about your test, you think about what you're asking them. For example, I teach English. So on a midterm exam, I might ask them to, I have questions about infinitives. All right, I might have multiple choice questions about infinitives and also fill in the blank questions about infinitives where they actually have to write something. I would create 2 pools. One pool for the infinitive, the multiple choice infinitive questions, one pool for the fill in the blank infinitive questions. Organize your pools. You want to micromanage your pools. That way you could easily look at the pools you have and you know exactly what to draw from. Instead of having, here's a demo pool math with all of them. There is no categorization as individual pools. We will look at this. I put them all together, but now I really can't select from these. Okay, so let's create a pool. Let's say I did division jumbled. I want to do addition jumbled. I didn't do addition. Let's do addition. So let's build a pool. We're going to do a demo pool addition multiple choice. I want to show you a little trick here. Demo pool addition multiple choice. Okay, I've given it a name. Click submit. We said multiple choice, so I have to do multiple choice here. All right, whenever you do anything in Blackboard, you're creating content for the students, always use, I like to use 16-point font, but 18-point font. Use 18-point font, right? All right, 1 plus 1, and now you have to come down here. You should click show answers in random order. That's always good to mix things up, especially if students are sharing answers on WhatsApp. All right, 1 plus 1 is 2. There's our answer. Make sure you select correct for the correct answer. But see, this is the tedious thing about Blackboard. I have to keep remembering to do 18-point font. I think a lot of you probably have noticed this. And this could be kind of time consuming. There is a workaround for this, but we don't have time to discuss it today. I'll mention it, briefly mention it later. Now, I don't usually select the topics or the categories, but you could do it. I still don't know what the benefit of doing this is, labeling the question types. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'll go ahead and do it. All right. I want to submit another. It's very important to help with your workflow that you don't just click. If you want to create more questions of this type, don't submit and create another. It'll save you some clicks. All right, we will do one more multiple choice question. Now imagine in your own discipline, you're going to do your, questions that fit your discipline, obviously. All right, 2 + 2. Show answers in random order. 2 + 2, our answer is 4. See, I keep forgetting I have to change the font all the time. And once you've added a category or a topic, don't keep adding the same thing. Choose from what you've already created. Otherwise, you're just going to mess up the system. All right, we've done 2 multiple choice. And I found that pretty tedious to do the multiple choice questions that way. Okay. I have created that pool. And there it is. I've added that. It is a demo pool addition multiple choice. I could see it easily because I've labeled my pool file clearly. Now I want to build another pool. I want to do addition jumbled sentence because I'm not crazy about setting up multiple choice questions. I'm also not crazy about setting up matching questions. Do any of you have matching questions on your exams? I no longer use the matching functionality. What I use, I will show you. All right, let's build a pool. It'll be addition again, but this time, demo, addition, but this time I don't want multiple choice questions. I want jumbled sentences. I think many of you will like this feature if you don't know what it is already. Do any of you use jumbled sentences already? The jumbled sentence question tool. Do any of you use it? It's right here, jumbled sentence. All right, I want to, this is addition. All right, 5 + 5 equals, now we have to put in brackets 1. This is for the answer, and we need to put in 1 here, as long as we have just one question here. If we wanted to do more here, right, 10, if I have a second question, I would put 2. But I don't like doing this. I like using one question for each one. But you could list a bunch of questions, but you'd have to do this. It's not a variable, but the answer coding is 1, 2, 3, 4. keep it simple, right? 5 plus 5. And the answer is going to be, all right, let's see, 10, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, I go to next. 5 plus 5. I code the answer. 10. Submit and create another. I'm done. Let's do another one. Again, I need to make this 18-point font at least. 18-point font is good. All right, 10 plus 10. Here's the answer. Oh, and down here I should have been doing the right, add the category. Oh, I don't have to do this, but I'm not really sure that there's a benefit to adding the category or the topic because I'm already categorizing my pools by the way I'm organizing and creating them. Do all of you understand that? I can go here, click on categories. I can see addition. Show me all the addition questions. All right, 10 plus 10 because I did not categorize this one. But I would like for somebody to tell me if there's even a benefit to adding a category or a topic. I don't think there is.
Yeah, in science, we use the categories to show the level of the questions. Like we have the average, the high level, and
Level
the
of
low level of
difficulty.
question. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Okay, hold on, let me just finish this. One of these days, I'd love to sit down with you so you could show me how you're doing it and why you're doing it, because this is how I would do it. If I have a certain kind of question and I want low level of difficulty, middle level of difficulty, high level of difficulty, I would simply create 3 pools here. That's how I would do it. I'm not saying you have to do it, but that's how I would do it. So now I can see exactly what I have here. I have addition, jumbled sentences, addition, multiple choice, division, jumbled, subtraction, jumbled, division, multiple choice, division, true, false, subtraction, fill in the blank, multiplication, multiple choice. Because now, okay, so these are pools that have been created. Okay, now it's time to create a test from this. So I like to go to the area that I want the student, where I want the students to find the test. This is one that I already created. We'll do another one. Let's assess a test. We'll create new. All right, demo exam from pools. We've given it a name. And now we can come here. And we can look for individual questions, find questions. I think it makes more sense to use either question sets or random blocks. Does anybody know the difference between creating a question set? The difference between creating a question set and a random block? If you create a question set, you'll be able to draw from your pools, but you'll also be able to draw from any direct tests you've created. This is actually what I use throughout a semester. I use many tests. Many of these tests are actually utilized as pools, though. That's why I label them as pool. Okay? But when you create, we could create a question set. We can Draw from my pools, but where are the pools I just created? How can I find them? All right, Control F. I remembered what I named some of them, and here. All right, we could do pool addition. Okay, fine. I'll create a question set from here. Jumbled sentences, right? I come here. I will select all of them. I will submit. Now imagine I have 10 questions here. But I don't want, the idea of having the pools is you don't want to use all of your questions. That way because you want the students to have, each student to have a slightly different exam. All right, so there are two total questions. I will choose just one of them. And the default for Blackboard points per question is 10. I don't know if that could be changed somewhere, but I'll change it to 1 here. Okay, I've created a question set, but this was only one out of 2. Here is the actual, the whole set will be here, and each student is only going to get only one of these questions. But when you create a question set, and then the questions are randomized in the exam, the questions from each question set can be anywhere in the exam. They will not necessarily, so for example, this is the addition jumbled sentence, the jumbled question type. It's this question will not appear in the exam with other questions of the exact same type. If I want that, then I need to do a random block. Again, I need to find my pool, Control F. All right, here is all right, addition multiple choice. But now I'm drawing a random block. You can, if you're doing a random block, the random block will pull only from a pool. You cannot pull from a test. You cannot draw from a test if you're creating a random block. So I'll check the pool that I want. I need to select all questions. All right, I have only 2 questions in this pool. I will submit. Now I have a random block. But at least with the random block, I can see exactly it's coming from this pool. So there might be some value in just for creating a test, using just a random block. But then you can pull your questions only from a pool. You cannot draw them from other tests you've created. All right, this time I will take 2 of the 2 total questions. Submit. I want just 1 point per question. Now this random pool, these 2 questions will stay together in the exam. They'll be randomized. Their order will be randomized, but they will stay together as a block in the exam. If I want to create a question set, again, I could draw from a pool, or I could draw from any direct test I've created. I think for these exams, so that means if you use just create question set, let's say you have some multiplication questions, you have some subtraction questions, multiplication questions from a multiplication pool, subtraction questions from a subtraction pool, and so on and so forth. You're creating the question sets, but those the students will see, they'll see multiplication question, then followed by division. Then everything will be truly randomized. The questions will not be kept together as the question type in a block. So which do you think is better? A question set where the questions can come up in any randomized order, or a random block where the questions are randomized within the block, but the block stays together throughout the exam, and the blocks are randomized? All right, we'll create 2 more random blocks from the pools that were created. Control F. All right, we've done addition. Let's do division. Division jumbled. It's a pool. I want to all questions in the pool. Again, you could do it by question types, but my pools are already organized. They're hard organized, hard coded as individual pools. So I don't need to draw from the question types. This would be true perhaps if I do one pool and I'm putting all the questions in that one pool, but I think that could lead to confusion and frustration later down the road. I like to be able to look at my organization right here in black and white. I can see exactly what I'm working with. All right, this pool has 4 questions. All right, but from the 4, we're going to give each student only 2. Submit. 1 point per question. We will add 1 more random block. Control F. All right, division. That was division jumble, division. Okay, let's do division true false. I want to see draw from all the questions. Submit. A total of 3 questions in the pool, and we want 2 of those questions. Each one is 1 point. Okay, submit. All right. So our test here, we have a total of 7 questions. Each one is worth 1 point. Okay, now we have, I can click OK. Here it is. I can just click submit. All right, when you're ready to make it available to students, make it available. Multiple attempts, it's an exam, so never have multiple attempts. Set the timer. Auto submit. I'd rather have the auto submit rather than force completion. This could lead to problems. Select the display after, display until. If this is today, so let's say we'll stops at 1:37. I always use a password for this. I use some simple word. All right, password car. 30 minutes after the exam begins, I'll change the password to something else, and I'll write it down so I don't forget it. All right, the due date, it'll be today. Let's say, what did I say? We had AM here. Let's want PM. These are the little things in Blackboard that could trip you up, forgetting to do these little things. All right, due date is today. Let's say 1:50 p.m. I try not to select too many things. For example, do not allow students to start the test if the due date is passed, because then there are too many things I have to go back and uncheck when 5 students have some reason to take a makeup exam. That's what's frustrating about Blackboard. All right, Mosa said, do not put the score per question. I used to do, what did I used to do? I think I just had score per question. But now I'm no longer going to do that. Because yes, they can just copy their answer sheet. They can copy the answers and they could start archiving them for future semesters and start sharing them with other students. All right, so they can see their grade when after the due date. And that due date that I set was for April 1st, 1:50 p.m. We do one at a time, prohibit backtracking, and randomize questions. And a start date cannot be later than the due date. Okay, fine. What's the start date? Oh, I see. Fine. 1 p.m. That should work. All right. There we have it. We have demo exam from pools 2. That's our test. Let's take the test. We have to begin. Our password is car. Answer the question. Move on to the next question. There is no backtracking. And this is the last question. Save and submit. I'm finished with the exam. So I can see, okay, attempted score. I can see I got 4 out of 7 correct. Okay, I'm done. Now so I showed you how I create individual pools. Each of my pools is its own little category. And I select from those multiple pools. I guess there's another way to do it that I don't do it, but maybe some of you do, and maybe you can explain to us why, if you think this is better. Let's do another no, first let's go back to test surveys pools. Let's go to pools, and I will show you. Here is, so I've already shown you the individual pools that I create. I am categorizing the questions in the individual pools themselves. But here is a pool where I just put everything all together. Demo pool math all. We can edit it right here. And instead, I have one pool with all the questions, and I can see just the division questions. I can see just the multiplication questions, just the subtraction questions. Yes? Okay, but I'm not sure how I can draw from this. Okay, let's create a test where we draw from this comprehensive pool, where all the questions are together. I'll go back to create test. Demo pool demo exam from submit. All right, so you saw before what I was able to do. I was able to draw from the individual pools that I created. Okay, there might be another possibility. You create one pool that has all your questions. And then maybe you can categorize those questions. You can set up the level of difficulty. I will create a random block. I will go to this pool right here. This pool has all of the questions I created. I want all the questions. I'm selecting them all. Okay, fine. I have 22 total questions. Fine, give me 11 questions. Give me 11 questions. Each question is 1 point, but I have how many multiplication questions I'm going to get. How many addition questions. I don't have control over how many of each question type I'm going to get on the exam. Now, if I'm wrong in this understanding, somebody please correct me, because that is why, oops, that is why I prefer to create the individual pools and to draw from them individually, because now I can use these individual pools in many different ways. I can use them in the future for quizzes, homework assignments. Because the idea is you don't create these pools only one time. You continually maintain them. You update them. All right, so here is one test that was created from a comprehensive pool. I will not go through all of this stuff again. I will just click submit. And here it is, demo exam from a pool that contains all the questions, and begin. But in this creation of this exam, I did not have control over how many of each question type will actually make it on the exam. So does anybody think that it is a better idea to do? My suggestion is to have individual pools for each of your question types and then draw from those. Another possibility is to create one pool with all your questions, and then you do the categorization, the level of difficulty. Because I don't think this is the best way to do it. I think this would lead to some confusion and frustration later down the road. Maybe it looks fine for a one-off exam, but then I don't think you have that much flexibility a year later, 2 years later, as everything builds. But if I'm wrong, somebody please correct me. Maybe I'm just not setting up a comprehensive pool in the correct way. Because I know if I follow Blackboard the way Blackboard wants to be followed, I find it very confusing. So I have to develop some logical structures that help me manipulate the features and functions of Blackboard, which is why there are my pools. I see exactly what I'm working with. All right, any questions? I feel my method of creating the individual pools helps to keep me sane, because I am forcing my management, my logical structuring onto Blackboard rather than trying to follow Blackboard's logical structuring, which I don't find that logical. And I think a lot of instructors do get confused when they try to follow the Blackboard's logical structuring. All right, I think I'm finished. I think this is all I had to share. Oh, I see. I'm reading the messages now. I've just seen them. Other meetings. Okay, fine. All right. Any questions? So Mosa, I have a question for you. Is anybody here? Anybody out there? All right, here's a question for the recording. I would like to know if anybody has some advice or suggestions for making one comprehensive pool and a sane way to organize it, and a sane way, a logical way to be able to draw from that one comprehensive pool. I'm not sure if there's a way to do that. So I have the method that I've shown you. Okay, I guess if there are no questions, I guess we can end this. The Fala Zubir, Layla Al-Ghatani, any questions? Mosa, are you still here?
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, we are here.
with you.
Thank you, Edward.
Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no
All
question.
right, you're welcome.
I'm
If you,
driving, thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry, because
yeah.
Dr. Edward, the people, they were number is big, but the people slowly, because there is a big different meeting department.
Yeah. No. I understand.
But to me, to have to be honest, one faculty member, that means 4 classes, that means big impact.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We have the recording, but this is my legitimate question. I would like to know if there is a way to simply put all the questions into one pool, and if there's a way to organize them in a way where it's easy to draw from that one pool anything you want. I don't think there is.
Yeah, I think organizing them in blocks could be the best way. I've not also come across a method where you put all the questions in a pool and draw from that pool. I think putting them in different blocks is the best way.
Right, you're creating, because you start from the beginning with the individual pools, and then you can see exactly what you're working with all the time.
Correct.
And then you have greater flexibility anytime throughout the semester when you want to utilize a micro pool.
Right.
Now, maybe there might be something I don't do, maybe I should do, but a way to make this more advanced is look at one of the pools, and then maybe within that micro pool. So here's division. This is division, multiple choice. And maybe here I can edit this, and I can do the level of difficulty. Hold on. Here, level of difficulty.
Right.
Right? High, low, whatever. I don't do that, but maybe I'd like somebody else to show us how this can be utilized when you're actually creating a test. And then, okay, I want 4 of these. I want 6 of these, 2 at a high level of difficulty, 2 at a low level of difficulty, 2 at a medium level of difficulty. Yes, I don't do that. I would love for someone to show us how to organize that and do it. But that does add labor to the front end in creating these pools.
Correct.
I mean, and this is an aspect of the labor I just don't, I haven't put into creating the pools yet. I try to make this seamless and as efficient as possible, but this could be done. But I'd still like to know how I would draw if I set the level of difficulty for every question, because I have so many questions. I have lab assignments, I have quizzes, I have tests, I have probably over 100 pools that I'm drawing from. I really don't feel like going back and itemizing all the questions. Some are my own creations, some I've taken from the publisher.
Right.
But that could be something that somebody else can present on in the future, how to use the categories, topics, levels of difficulty, and how you can use this organization to make an even greater dynamic exam. This is a level that I'm not doing. I haven't made my exams this dynamic. What I have, I think, is a method for making it as simple as possible and as dynamic as possible for the amount of work you're putting into it. But I can sort of see the benefit just for the purpose of cataloging, at least creating the category. But I'm not really sure if it makes a difference if I already have my categorization here. My thinking is, okay, here's addition multiple choice. Maybe I can make some really difficult addition. I can make another pool. And this would be my line of thinking, my line of reasoning. If I want to create the different levels of difficulty, I would do it here. Addition, multiple choice, high. Addition, multiple choice, low. Addition, multiple choice, medium.
Right.
I think that even if you want to classify the level of difficulty, I think maybe even that might be a better way when you look at the big picture and long-term usage.
Correct. I think the level of difficulty here is just for the instructor to see the kind of question you would like to draw from. Yeah.
If you code it in Blackboard, the level of difficulty, I'm not sure it offers any advantage. You might be right. It just offers the instructor the ability to see the level of difficulty. Right. I don't want to see the level of difficulty. I want to know exactly what I'm working with when I create the exam.
Right.
So that would be my answer then. If you want levels of difficulty, you create an individual pool with that level of difficulty.
Correct.
And again, you only need maybe 2 or 3 questions in the pool. So I guess that's my answer to that. Until somebody comes along with a better idea. Because I find that if I follow Blackboard the way Blackboard wants me to follow it, it's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
I need a way to logically organize things in a human manner.
Right. Thank you very much. Your presentation has been good, and the tips are excellent.
Oh, good, good. I'm glad you appreciate it, because this is what I'm usually doing. I'm rarely using Blackboard the way Blackboard wants me to use it. I'm trying to find a way for humans to use Blackboard.
Right.
And to organize things in a logical manner. So it's easy to pull up a screen and you know exactly what you're looking at.
Right.
Okay, good. I'm glad this was helpful.
Thank you, Edward.
Okay. No, you're welcome.
Right.
All right, I guess that's it, Mosa. All right, Mosa, I will end the recording.
Yes, so you need to end. I can. You can or I can. No problem. Let me do.
You do it. You do it. 'Cause
Yes.
you do it.
Stop recording.
All right, stop recording.